Bulldogs fans, all things Bulldogs. So, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs fans, from what I can gather, I can't speak for everyone, but the vast majority are happy with Mick Potter to be given, a year, maybe two, to see if he can progress the side the way that he has done since taking over, with a few changes that he's made. There's been some good analysis done on all those areas, but we don't want Cameron Ciraldo. Now, or Brad Fittler. Now, if the board and Gould decide they pick any of those coaches, I'll support them. No doubt. I'll still pay me membership. I'll still do everything that's required as a fan. But the reasons we don't want him is because everyone knows it just could be another Trent Barrett in the making. For the simple fact, this guy's not going to get the time. Like, if Phil Gould's projections on how long it's going to take to get back to where we're going to get back to where we need to be for long-term success, I don't think Cameron Ciraldo is going to be able to last that sort of scrutiny, just the way that we're set up as a club and where the fans are. We've hurt for too long. We've been hurting for way too long. We have been through an assistant coach. Now, the reason that the media love assistant coaches is because they're unproven, and it's, for many clubs and fans, often coaching changes on the back of a lack of success. And the great unknown of assistant coaches means that you just have that volatility and all those continued news stories. And a club like Canterbury, where it's been a long time, due to all the stuff that's gone on and the stuff the fans have had to go through, we've got money, we've got an improving squad, an improving roster, we've got pathways being built, all good things happening. We've just endured having a coach without Bulldogs DNA, as much as he loved the Dogs when he was young and that sort of stuff. You add all those things together, and what that means is we have a situation where the Bulldogs fans aren't going to put up with a coach that's come from the outside if he doesn't get success. Now, Ciraldo may well and truly get success at other clubs, like he may be a premiership winning coach in the making, who knows? But I think it's best to go with the devil and that's someone with Bulldogs DNA who's had a really positive influence. Since taking over, Potter's been able to get the Dogs, not just the fans on side, but the actual playing squad, to believe that it can do a lot more out there. And that's the simple words he's using. I think there's more in the team. Now, an assistant coach to come in, they probably need to come into a squad which is on the cusp of doing well. So an unproven coach needs to come on into a team like Adam O'Brien came to the Knights when they had a good roster after a poor period of what their fans have had to suffer. They've got a good junior base. They've set up. He's probably met expectation, but as soon as he's lost that spine, with Mitchell Pearce and that experience out of the spine, they've really struggled. And he's going to be under pressure. And this is what the media love. They love assistant coaches because it's just that volatility and they can just write their stories from the get-go. And Ciraldo is the flavour of the month. Honestly, Andrew Webster thinks that he needs to come in to the Dragons and replace Griffin and get ahead of the other clubs. They just make a story out of anything. Brad Arthur's been shopped around, apparently. We'll probably think Parramatta wants Ciraldo now. That'll be the next one, because they're a team who's probably hit their ceiling, and if they don't, and their window's closing based on the players that are leaving. I don't know too much about their juniors, but it's It's really interesting times. We don't want Ciraldo. We don't want Fittler. They don't have Dogs DNA. Let Mick Potter stay in there. But as I said, if he goes with any of those coaches, I'll support him. And I hope the rest of the fans do as well. But I just know, considering our history and our 2-year board elections, we've got self-interests out there that want to get into the Canterbury organisation. And they're the ones, if there are any leaks, that's where they come from. 99% of the leaks that you hear aren't true. They're lies, they're made up, they're exaggerations, they're perceptions. They're, you might get one player who's not happy and all of a sudden the whole team's not happy. They make so much of it. They're doing that with the Dragons now. They're saying that players aren't happy and all this sort of stuff because, they've got rid of 3 coaches. Let's get rid of another 3. So who's the next 3 targets? Anthony Griffin, where the Dragons are performing exactly how they're supposed to. And that's on the edge of the 8, which is where everyone predicted them to be, which is an improvement. And I think they are an improved side. You've got the Gold Coast who have suffered this year because he's gone with a really inexperienced young spine. And that was always going to happen. Hindsight's a bitch, though. It's apparently Holbrook, who can coach, now can't coach. Adam O'Brien will be under pressure. And, Anthony Griffin. So I think, media owns the game. The advertisers that pay the media organisations, in effect, are the ones who pay for the game and pay the players. So it's a catch-22 that we all have to deal with. Anyway, guys, don't stress too much. The coach will be named, and I don't think it's Ciraldo. I hope it's not Ciraldo. I hope that, Gus comes out and appoints a coach and then says to him, we never chased Ciraldo. I hope Ciraldo says that we never chased him. His camp aren't going to come out and say anything because his stocks go up. The more teams that are linked. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. All things Bulldogs. Go the doggies.